Okay, so you should have some video that you've imported into your sequence. We did that in the last video. In this one, we're going to look at bringing in some solid colors, some text, and look at the basic video editing tools that you can use to start playing about with your footage. Okay, so I've imported a few things in here. We've got our opening footage, we've got our gameplay footage, and I've imported some time-lapse video of the weapon construction. If you want to change the length of these, maybe you've got it a little bit wrong, you want to make it a little bit longer or change the length, you can simply hover over the start or end points and drag them, cut them down, pull them out. Okay. You can use the little razor tool to cut bits if you don't want them. Going back to the selection tool to then select them, hitting delete will get rid of it. Okay, so very easy. You can click and drag, move these around, move them onto different layers. If you pull them up here, it creates new tracks for us. So these are all our video tracks, these are our audio tracks. So the videos go along the top and the audio goes below. You'll see that it works very similar to Photoshop, so when I drag these above, even though the video is playing underneath, I only see this one because it's on top. Okay, well, there's no video, it's obviously black screen. Don't be afraid to use a bit of the black screen and give your viewer some time, some downtime between clips. It's not the end of the world if it's completely black in areas on your show reel. So very easy to move around and layer up your video. You'll see that this is kind of naturally snapping. So it snaps to the start and end points. It snaps to the locator as well. If you want to turn that off, it's the little snap tool, turn that off, and then you've got more freedom to move this about as you want. Okay. Some shortcuts if you want them. You'll see if you hover over these tools, it gives you the shortcut. So C will give you the razor tool. V will put you back to the normal tool, and there's lots of different things that we can do here. So how do we add text? So it's very simple. If you use your type tool, click on that, and you're dragging over this view to create a text box. So now I can add in some text. Okay, so let's call this and I'm going to call it Game Design Showreel 2019. Okay, so let's say you want to change the text and make it slightly different. You're not happy with the font maybe, or you want to change the size. You can select different bits, and what you want to do is go to this little tab here that says Effects Control and scroll down, and you've got what looks like your average kind of text controls here. So Tahoma at the minute, I can change that, and you've got all these different fonts. So I use a font called Bebus, gives it a bit more of a kind of smart feel. You can see because I only had that selected, it's only changed that. So I don't know, let's say we want to change this to something else. Or something a little bit different. And you can change the size. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so entirely up to you. You can change the location of the text, whether it's center aligned, whether it's left aligned. You can change the fill. So let's say if I want this bottom bit to be in red. Very easy to do. You'll also notice that on the timeline, it's created the text for us here too. So if I wanted this at the very start, I can move it to the start, and you'll see that when I scroll off, it disappears. Okay, so if you want it to go on longer, you can. So you see it goes on for longer now. If you want it shorter, it's exactly like editing video. Okay, so very simple. If I want to add, let's move this up to the top because we want the text to be on the top, nice and visible. If I want to add a bit of solid color, so you notice on my example I had a blue background behind my text. Very easy to do. If you do right click in here and do new item or click new item, you've got color matte. Okay, so if I click that, hit OK, and then I can now pick my color. So you can use the sliders here to pick the color, or you can use the drop and select from your video to kind of try and match it in if you want. So let's go for like a dark purple, and I'm going to call this purple. Okay, you'll see it appears. So again, you can drag it in, and there you go. It's over the top, and it works exactly the same way. You can drag this out and have it longer or shorter, and move it about wherever you want. Okay, so what I want you to do now is create a text layer and a color layer, and start editing it the way you want. Start laying out this footage the way that you would like.